Hello, second graders. Welcome to your science lesson. Today we're going to be learning about glaciers. So our goal statement for today is to identify ways that people depend on, change, and are affected by the environment. So first, we're going to look at this picture here and brainstorm some ideas about it. This is a picture of the same glacier in 1913 and then in 2012. So what do you guys observe or notice about this picture? I'm hearing some people say that there's less ice and snow in the picture that was taken in 2012. There's also more green in the picture that was taken in 2012. These are all really good observations and noticing about this picture. So we're going to learn a little bit about why that might have happened to the glacier. So we're going to look at this graph here that shows mass balance. So if there was any mass that was gained to a glacier, it would show as a positive number. If there's any mass that was lost from the glacier, it's going to show as a negative number. So we'll keep that in mind as we look at this graph. So we're going to think about what we observe and notice about this graph, and also think about what this graph tells us about the world. So I have some questions here that's going to help us generate some curiosity about this graph. So we're going to think about what year showed the highest yearly glacier mass and what year showed the lowest yearly glacier mass. We're also going to think about if the yearly glacier mass is increasing or decreasing according to the graph. And then we're going to make a prediction about what we think the graph will look like in 2030. So we have these questions here. You have the graph handed out at your table. So think about these questions to yourself. Think about how you would answer them. Share with your partner, and then we're going to share as a class. I'm hearing some really good conversations with your partners. I hear you guys referencing specific data points from the graph, which I love to hear. Okay, I think we're ready to share as a class now. So what year showed the highest yearly glacier mass? And that's right, it is 1970. And even though this is 0, we had talked about if it's a positive number, then it has gained mass. So this means that there was no mass that was gained or lost in this year. What year showed the lowest yearly glacier mass? And that's right, it is 2020. That is the highest negative number here at negative 25 meters of water. So that glacier, or glaciers in general, lost negative 25 meters of water that year, which is a significant amount. And then let's look at our questions again. Is yearly glacier mass increasing or decreasing? That's right, it is decreasing. As we can see, there's a lot of loss happening here, and it's getting larger every year. And based on that, what do we think the graph will look like if beta was recorded in 2030? I'm hearing a lot of people say that they think it's going to be lower, it's going to decrease more. It might be at negative 30, which is a really good inference that you're making. Yep. So we looked at the data from the graph and we saw a trend here that the mass balance is decreasing from every 10 years. So I think that is a really good prediction based on what we learned. So let's talk about some more facts about climate change and just some more background knowledge about this graph. So glaciers are important sources of drinking water for many species and ecosystems. So it's not just a little deal that glaciers are melting. This really affects a lot of species and ecosystems. It is served as a habitat for some, but also, like I said, a drinking source. And what this shows or tells us about the world is that Earth's temperature is rising. That is the main cause for glaciers melting. And the Earth's temperature is rising due to human activity, which is carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. That makes the temperature higher in the air. And when glaciers melt, this adds to the sea levels, which are continuously rising, which affects humans as well. So we learned a lot about the world according to this graph. And if we go back to our picture here, We didn't know why this happened at first. We didn't know why all this ice and snow was lost in this picture in 2012. But now that we have some data to back that up, we learned about that and we can make some connections to human activity and why things might be changing, how we affect the world. So I hope that you learned a lot from this graph, and thank you so much for participating. Tune in next time.